So lately I've been playing around in Articulate 360 on using 360-degree images. So if you haven't played around with this before, it is really a lot of fun. You go to Insert, 360-degree image, and you can upload any image file. But you want a special kind to make sure it looks properly. And let me show you what I mean. This is a picture of a cave. And gotta wait for it to load here. You can look around and it gives this nice 360-degree feel to it. But look, right here I've reached a seam. So the problem with the 360-degree pictures is getting photographs that will actually render properly when they're viewed. Let me show you this room. So when we look around this room, you'll see you do not see a seam anywhere. It flows perfectly. And it appears to be an actual room. And this was actually taken from an image file. So Storyline does not have 360-degree images built in. You have to source them yourself. And this is a bit of a problem. And so what I've done is a bunch of research to figure out how I can get these 360-degree images for free or for very cheap. So there's a few things to be aware of before you get started here. And one of them is the aspect ratio of these images is a 2:1. So most things that you're going to work in are going to be like 4:3 or somewhere along those lines. 2:1 is rare, but you need it to be this long. This aspect ratio is 2:1 because I've been sourcing these pictures and I want them to fit in the file properly and download properly. Format is JPEG or PNG. If you're going to try to search for these or generate them with AI generators, which doesn't work very good, these are your keywords to use. Equirectangular 360, spherical environment map, VR compatible panorama, full 360, scene for Oculus, Meta, Quest, background. Those would be your keywords. I have found that using existing programs that I already have, in searching through their stock footage, I have found some photographs. And like I said, you can use AI image generators. I have not had very good luck with this. They will get very close, but the edges are not seamless. So there is that line, which that's not that big of a deal. But I really want a seamless experience, and I know that it's possible, so I went and dug through to find all of these resources right here. So these are sites that have 360-degree images. Now, let me show you Skybox. Skybox is very cool. So you can generate these worlds, and you can see this is like unbelievable. You can generate all kinds of worlds. You can generate 5 worlds for free. However, when you go to download, you're going to have to subscribe to get those equirectangular images that Articulate 360 accepts. So you would have to upgrade to a $24 a month plan. That is not actually bad. But I like to do everything even cheaper than that. You can go to... This is ESO.org, and they have space images that are 360. Okay, so very cool pictures of space type stuff. And the same goes for NOR Labs. Lots of space types of things here. So inside these work areas, you're going to get some cool images there. But not all of my stuff is space. Actually, so far, none of it has been space. I want just like regular living spaces and outdoor spaces. So I looked at FreePic, and yes, FreePic has some stuff, but not actually a whole lot. And a lot of it is premium. You've got to pay for it. Okay, so that's where I made it through there. And all of the rest of these places, I was going to have to buy photographs. And it was just, that was getting out of hand. Like they present it as if it's free, but it's really not. And so I thought, okay, I'll just look in Canva, which I use all the time, and see what I can find. And I did find some very good examples. Pretty sure this one was in Canva. And this one was in Canva. And this one, I can't remember which ones came from Canva, but some very good examples. Some of these, if not all of these, came from Canva. You have to use those keywords. I used 360 Equirectangular. Now, another one, come to find out, that has a ton was Vecteezy. Normally you got to pay for that. But I remembered, wait a minute, I have a program called Create Studio that I get access to that. So I went in there, and the first thing I did was change my aspect ratio. So it is that 2:1. I want this to be actually 6,000 by 3,000. Okay, so I want it to be a very big photo. And I see right here, I've got Vecteezy right here. And so I did the search for 360 Equirectangular. And I ended up getting just a ton of options here. They have indoors, outdoors, parks, rooms, extensive. And then I was able to download those as an image from here and get the image files. So I want to tell you something about these though, before we get going too much further. You'll notice how they have this really weird bubbly look. Basically, what happens is this photograph is pulled in, and it's like all these pixels that you see are curved that get squished together into a straight line, and it folds around. So it looks very curvy, but it isn't when you look at it in a picture. All those curves are squished in. But that's how you'll know you found an appropriate 360 image. It's going to have this very distorted look. Because sometimes you'll get an image, this one, for example, is labeled as a 360-degree image, and it will work, but it's not the same experience. And this one, okay, and these will work, okay? They will work. They will look pretty decent, actually, even though they aren't curved the way they should be, like, for example, this one is. But usually if they don't have this very warped, curvy look, they're just not going to look very nice. It's going to be all crowded in, and it's going to be very warped, and there's going to be a very heavy seam. So let me now take you into Articulate 360 so I can just show you some examples here. So this is a room. It's just an empty room. In Articulate, you cannot add additional objects. You can only add two things, a marker or a hotspot. Now, you can add overlays on the slide, but you can't actually go in here and build out a scene. And that's really important to me, that I can build out a scene. And so what I've done is in Canva, I went in and added these extra details, and then I upload the photograph, and you can see here, they do get distorted because I don't know how to make them curve. They're just flat images, but I at least get some things in here because what I'm going to be doing is an escape room. So I need to build up these scenes and have different clues around in the escape room. And how you do that, by the way, let me just show you that example. It's right here. So this is me building up the scene. Normally it's just a blank room, but I wanted to busy it up. So what you do is you just go through and you add in the details that you want, and then you export the photograph. Now this one, look at how curved this is. This car and this car as well. There's two different cars that I have. Let me show you what it looks like. It's crazy because it just looks like it's not going to be good at all. And then you add it in and it looks so perfect. Okay. So now we are inside this car. Amazing. There you have it, guys. Once again, don't forget, you want to use that keyword Equirectangular 360. That's the ticket right there. And so I hope that helps you get started. Subscribe to my channel because I'm going to have lots more videos coming out about how I'm using this feature in Storyline to build out escape rooms. So I will see you later.